study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
the best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
So about 10 years ago, the APA Foundation developed the Notice Talk Act at School program, and we were charging a fee to bring that resource to schools. Post-pandemic, we were a little more industrious. We went out and found some grant funding. We got some donations. So now we're able to offer that training, Notice Talk Act at School, for free to any K-12 school in the United States and territories. No cost to the school, no cost to the teachers or staff, no cost to the parents. We look at it as the stop, drop, and roll for mental health in schools.
Hey everybody, this is Jonathan Marks with GoToHealth. Hope you're doing well today. As children return to school, a new poll from the American Psychiatric Association shows strong public support for mental health education and staff training. In fact, 85% of Americans believe that schools should be equipped to connect students to mental health professionals and other support services. But only half believe most school staff have been trained to identify mental health concerns in students. There are programs available to help educators. According to the U.S. Department of Education's School Pulse panel, nearly 2/3 of public schools reported offering professional development to support student well-being. The American Psychiatric Association Foundation also offers a free training program called Notice, Talk, Act at School that teaches school staff to recognize signs of mental health concerns and gives them the tools to have supportive conversations with students and connect them to care. Notice, Talk, Act at School training supports pre-service and K-12 school staff to notice early mental health warning signs, talk to students about these concerns, and act to connect students to the appropriate resources. This training is funded by the U.S. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, offered at no cost to schools and parents. Our guest today is Raul Andrews, Jr., Esquire. He can discuss the importance of mental health training for school staff, the role educators play in early identification, and how schools can access support. He's the executive director of the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the American Psychiatric Association. You can learn more at apaf.org/school. If you're enjoying the show, it would mean the world to us if you took a second to leave a 5-star review on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening to us. It helps more people find the show and lets us know we're on the right track. Thanks so much in advance. So welcome to the show, Raul Andrews. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having us.
Good. So tell me, why are parents increasingly concerned about student mental health this coming school year?
We believe our parents just need a break. They really haven't had a break for a while, and they keep hearing and learning about this youth mental health crisis. And they're concerned because they're not sure that their schools are equipped to help deal with that crisis.
And what's the source of this youth crisis?
So there are any number of drivers of the crisis. We know social media has been a concern. We know that the cyberbullying and bullying have been a concern. And even though school is just starting, if you had that challenge last year, you don't know that it's necessarily gone away this year. We also know that there's been a rising concern about over-the-counter drugs and vaping and things like that. So substance use also is a concern. And I think the biggest challenge between generations is that older generations are not as comfortable talking about mental health as younger generations seem to be. But
Hmm.
that doesn't mean they necessarily have all the information they need to have informed conversations.
Good. So tell us about the Notice, Talk, Act school program.
So about 10 years ago, the APA Foundation developed the Notice Talk Act at School program, and we were charging a fee to bring that resource to schools. Post-pandemic, we were a little more industrious. We went out and found some grant funding. We got some donations. So now we're able to offer that training, Notice Talk Act at School, for free to any K-12 school in the United States and territories. No cost to the
Fabulous.
school, no cost to the teachers or staff, no cost to the parents. We look at it as the stop, drop, and roll for mental health in schools.
Wonderful. And how do staff or how do schools find out about this program? How do they apply? What does it take to get this program in their schools?
The best first step is to go to apaf.org/schools. You can learn more about the training, but I can tell you now for those in your audience that it is a free resource. It takes about 2 hours to do. It can be done on or offline, but the first thing you need to do is just go to apaf.org/schools, and then you can contact us directly after you look at the website, or you can send that to the school or the school district and ask them to contact us.
Great. So that was my next question is if I'm a parent and I have a concern, what's the best way to approach the school about this?
Go to apaf.org/schools and just look at the resources we provided there
Okay.
so that you might have questions and you want to reach out to us to get those questions answered. Or you might say, you know what, this makes perfect sense to me as a parent. I need to check and see maybe my school does have it. And I want to know that I can sleep better at night because they do, or maybe they don't have it. What we know by the research is only 35% of non-teachers are getting any mental health training as part of the job. So bus drivers are not being trained. Cafeteria workers are not being trained. Coaches are not being trained. Crossing guards are not being trained. They're dealing with our children as well. And how can the whole school community be a team to deal with this crisis if everybody doesn't know what the play is and when the play is supposed to be run?
That's brilliant. I never thought of all those ancillary workers that do have a lot of interactions with the kids, and they need to be aware of this as well, don't they?
Yes, absolutely. Again, because it's only 2 hours, it's not like you have to give up a whole school day to do it. And one, you're going to notice signs and symptoms of atypical behavior, something out of the ordinary in a child. Two, you're going to know what are the ways to turn a difficult conversation into a courageous or a comfortable conversation for you or whoever you pass off the situation to. And then finally, when it comes to ACT, what are the appropriate, and we stress, what are the appropriate tools, tips, and resources to help this particular student in this particular situation at this particular time?
Hmm. And I know it's so important with true mental health problems. I'm not talking about addictions or some of the other stuff, but developing mental health problems. It's really important to recognize these early, right?
Because of the innovations in medicine and technology, the earlier we can catch any symptom or illness, the better chance we have to treat it. That's what our doctors tell us every day. But unfortunately, we know it takes 11 to 15 years between the onset of a situation for mental health concern and a diagnosis.
Hmm.
After the pandemic, do we really have another decade to wait to get the help if help is needed right now?
Right. And do mental health problems begin developing in, let's say, elementary school children?
Well, our doctors don't know exactly when they begin because sometimes maturity is a part of it, but we do know by the time a child is in middle school,
Mhm.
there might be behaviors that would tell us, if you're talking to a pediatrician, for example, or if you're talking to a psychiatrist, that there may be something to investigate. And then by the time they get to high school, they're in a barrage of additional information. They have a little more independence, and it becomes harder because people don't want a diagnosis. So they run away from help
Very good
because
point.
they don't know that help is easy to get or it's easier than it used to be.
Good. I think you just mentioned a key issue, which is not to run away from diagnosis. It's to recognize the problem, get it dealt with. If parents are concerned about lack of resources in their schools, what can they do?
Stop, drop, and roll for mental health. Come to Notice Talk Act at school. It's 2 hours, on or offline, no cost to the school, no cost to the teachers and staff, no cost to the parents. I was just at a middle school yesterday dropping off school resources so that with some members of our team so they could help provide the pens and pencils and so forth.
Mhm.
That cost them nothing, but we couldn't equip the whole school with all those pens and pads. But with Notice Talk Act at school, we actually can do something more profound. We can bring the training to everybody there in the school community so everybody understands what's going on and how to help if help is needed.
Is this training worth it for parents to take themselves?
So we do have some resources for parents, and we invite parents to go to apaf.org again/schools, and you can learn more about how we do that. What we try to do is two things. One, work with the parent-teacher organizations so that we can do big group conversations to weave that training in when we do it. Or the best case scenario is we have a train-the-trainer model. The train-the-trainer model for Notice Talk Act at School is even more comfortable than when we outsiders come in and try to help, because somebody who's already trusted in that academic community understands that community, and now they're better equipped because they got the Notice Talk Act training on their tool belt.
So, Raul, what question haven't I asked that I should have asked? Or what would you like to leave as a message for final with people today?
So there is no health without mental health. And once we understand and accept that reality, then we'll understand that while it may be okay to not be okay, it's no longer okay not to get help if help is needed. We believe that one facet or component of that help is this stop, drop, and roll for mental health that we at the APA Foundation call Notice Talk Act at School, apaf.org/schools. We'll get to you as quickly as you can get to us.
Good. Raul, this is the second time you've been on the show. I'm glad to have you back. You always bring helpful information. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Anytime we're available, just let us know.
Good. We've been talking with Raul Andrews Jr., Esquire. He's the executive director of the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the APA, the American Psychiatric Association. He's also the president of the Bar Association of the District of Columbia. His duties include leading the APA Foundation's public education, research, training, strategic partnerships, and mental health equity initiatives. So before we leave, studies show that acts of gratitude improve your well-being. So here's your chance. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube or wherever you're listening to us and help this show grow. It's free, takes just a second, and gives you a little dopamine hit too. Thanks so much for being with us today. We'll see you again next time. This has been Jonathan Marks, and as we say at the end of every show, go to health. Bye-bye. See you again next time. Thank you for tuning in today to Go to Health. You are one of almost 10,000 people per day who enjoy the evidence-based health information offered by our guest health experts. You can watch us on our website and YouTube and listen to us on 8 podcast networks. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks in our upcoming shows each week. If you like our show, please share this episode with your friends and colleagues. You can subscribe to the show, join our email list, send us feedback, browse through the online store, and view our library of over 150 shows at gotohealthmedia.com. See you next time, and remember to elevate your life with Go to Health.